see here if... Okay. All right, guys. Apparently, as Red Hood 23 says, Hydra took over. I got to figure this whole streaming thing out. I wish I could just do the videos like I used to do, spend the few hours filming them and then cutting them all together and stuff, but I just don't have the time, so I kind of got to do it this way, and I want to be able to show clips and talk about them as we do it, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. Just the copyright is crazy. What's up, GI? So Corey, what it is, G. Okay, so how many? Let's just talk Captain America. I got about actually 10 or 15 minutes because I got to go give blood tonight. The stuff going through these veins is liquid gold, so I got to go do that. But have you seen Captain America? Let me know. That Gold Taco, you already sounded off. I remember when I first saw it, I came out of the theater, and I remember thinking, okay, that was good. I didn't like it as much as Iron Man because I love the Iron Man character. The Captain America character, he is that kind of Boy Scout. What's up, Dalek Scientista? And so, but I liked his relationship with Peggy. I liked Tommy Lee Jones in the film. I liked how he was introduced as a character, and that's kind of what I was trying to get at as Hydra took over the previous stream. That when we meet Steve Rogers, he is a tiny little, pipsqueak of a dude that is doing everything he can to be able to go fight. He's got all these health problems. He's tiny, and he just wants to fight like everybody else. He doesn't want to be like little Timmy that he sees in the newsreels. And so he starts off as a very weak character. He's not a strong character. So take a look at the video I did regarding how to introduce weak characters in film. Okay, so Red Hood says, as a kid I saw it as cheesy, but now I really appreciate it. Yeah, it is probably a little bit more on the cheesy side of other Marvel films. And I felt that the same way too, especially the interaction when we first see the Red Skull. Like, actually, we first see him take off, Hugo Weaving's skin. And they're, like, in the factory and everything's blowing up around it. Pretty cheesy. And then, like, when the soldiers are walking into the camp after he saves them all, they're all, like, walking the same way with their big guns, just looking straight ahead. They're not even looking at the people who are flanking them, giving them applaud. And then Bucky's like, hey, let's hear it for Captain America. So there's a lot of cheesiness in it. For sure. And so it kind of embraces the comic-y side of the Marvel Universe, I feel, more than I feel, especially the newer Marvel films and the Iron Man and stuff. But so that Gold Taco says, I'm really excited to see what happens with Peggy and Steve. Do you think that we're going to see more of them? I mean, is that something you think we're going to see? We kind of got a definitive end to their story in Avengers Endgame. All right, Red 23. I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from. Perfectly sums up the character Steve Rogers. And Red Hood, I think you're absolutely right. It's kind of like his mantra. He just wants to stand up for the little guy. And Captain America or Steve, because you can so succinctly say what makes him tick, that does make him a strong character. A lot of times we like to think about complex characters, but if you can't tell what their motivations are, then complexity only gets you so far. In fact, it may actually cause you to backtrack. In my mind, the one way to just make a simple complex character is you give them a need and you give them a want. It's a very screenwriting 101 type of thing, but I think there's a lot of power to it. A need is something that a character needs to do. They have to do it. But usually their need conflicts with what they want. So, for instance, at the very end of this film, Captain America's need is to save New York City. It's to save the people. But his want is to land the plane and go, on his date with Peggy. And with Captain America, what makes it so great is that need versus want. Essentially, they're at odds for the rest of his life. They're at odds for the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. and it's only finally is it reconciled at the end of Avengers Endgame. And so, he's kind of it's like he gives up everything for everybody else, essentially. Okay, what do we got here? So Corey Jensen says, I've seen it a few times. Yeah, you have. Let's see here. The Echo Talk, let's see, Red Hood. Alan Silvestri's music is such a great addition to this. Alan Silvestri is just a straight-up gangsta. I mean, going back to the Future and Forrest Gump, I was pleasantly surprised when he did the music for a lot of these Marvel films. Did he do it for Captain America? Did he do it for the first Avenger? Did he do it for this film? Let's look at the handy-dandy notebook here, a.k.a. my telefono. And let's find out who did the music. I didn't realize it was Alan Silvestri. But I'm sure you're right, because you brought it up. And, well, you're cool like that. Come on, internet. Okay, so it was Alan Silvestri. You're right. I should have known. You're right. You always are. Okay, movie did a good job of making it feel like I was watching something that was actually filmed in the time of World War II. Yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up. The production design is very strong in this film. It's you feel that, yeah, you feel the time period. And even what I noticed, like, even the bit when the Hydra agent steals the serum out of the lab right after Captain America's big, transformation, it even feels also kind of fake, because those characters are not truly those characters are just posing as people. And so it's like, it's they're doing a period piece while somebody is posing as somebody else, and it feels all authentic. It feels like somebody is not only playing a 1940s character, but also posing as a shopkeeper, or posing as, two, bums on the street that shoot after the Hydra agent. And so it really, it's a hard thing to do, to kind of get a double fake out like that, but it's pretty good. Okay, beautiful ending for Cap. I can't agree more, Red Hood 23. It doesn't seem like they're going to tell that story, all what happens with Peggy, but it's great. And what I noticed is that, there's so many films, there's 27 million of these films. I had forgotten that their big date was going to dance. And so at the end of Endgame, when we see he and Peggy dancing in the living room, it was just such a beautiful bookend. It was such a great payoff. And so it's that plant and payoff. Like, if you want to have a great payoff, you got to set it up first. Okay. Just first Avenger, not for the rest of the trilogy. He also did Avengers. Let's see here. Red Hood 23 says, just first Avenger, not for the rest of the trilogy. He also did Avengers 1, 3, and 4. Okay, we're going back to Alan Silvestri. Yeah, I knew he did the Avengers, but I didn't realize he had done the first Captain America. But that theme kind of does go on throughout the rest of the stories. What else did you guys like about this film? Or what did you not like about this film? So we've mentioned the cheesiness. We mentioned the really great production design. One of the things that this is a little random, but, when you go back and watch the first X-Men, you look at Hugh Jackman and you're like, wow, he's a puny little scrawny dude compared to, how he ends up in Logan or X3 even. But when you watch Chris Evans in the first Avenger, you're like, nah, he's still pretty jacked. So that was kind of funny. Man, I wish I could show you some stuff without getting the stream taken down. So give me something here, guys. What else did you guys think about the film? So my favorite line of the movie is, "I can do this all day." Yeah. So Corey, you bring up a great thing. So as he's getting pummeled in the alley, he's like, "I can do this all day," and that line again is paid off again in Avengers Endgame when the fake Captain, or the alternate Captain America, tells it to our real Captain America, and he's like, "I can do this all day," and he's like, "Oh, I know," or whatever he says. And it's And Red Hood 23 brings it up. It's like, that's another great line that perfectly sums up the character. And I love that. That's great. All right, so Abdi Muhammad. Hi, I finally made it. What's up, General Muhammad? How's it going? Welcome. All right. So what else did you guys like about this film? You know, about the character. I really like the parts where Tommy Lee Jones's character takes the dummy grenade to prove that, you know, his guy is the super soldier, and he throws it and he's like, grenade! And it's Steve who jumps on it to rescue everybody else. And then, of course, he has the line, he's still skinny, you know, because he wants to blow it off, that Steve can't do it. But we know that even though he's saying that line, Steve proved something in that moment. And that's probably the biggest reason why he acquiesces for Steve to be the first test candidate for the super soldier serum. And does anyone know the discrepancies between the time period? Like if Howard Stark is like, I don't know, 35 in this film, you know, and he clearly doesn't have, or like 30 or 25 or something, maybe he's 25. But it's like, he must have had Tony pretty late in life. You know, he must have had him like in, I guess it works. You know, if he's like 25 and he had him when he was 35, then I guess Tony could be the age he is in the Avengers films. I thought timeline was funny. Okay, so with Captain America, I think the general thing that we've kind of gotten here is, let's see here. I actually wish, back to the I Can Do This All Day. Red Hood brings up a good point. He says, I wish Captain America actually said the I Can Do This All Day line when he was fighting with Thanos at the end before the portal scene. Yeah, what does he say there? I can't remember. But that scene, when those portals open, I mean, that was such a legendary scene. My goodness. Amazing. But this film did open up it did start, of course, the Tesseract and everything else. And as you go back and watch it now, you see all the things that is set up. Of course, everything from the Tesseract to the Red Skull to Captain America, and we see why he is the kind of almost de facto leader of the Avengers, because he has no aspirations for, you know, leadership or power. He just wants to do the good thing. So Red Hood says he doesn't say anything before the whole portal thing. Yeah, it's kind of like a visual storytelling moment where you know what he's thinking, that he's like that he's not going to give up, no matter what Thanos does. But the theater was shook, dude. When that moment happened, it was the theater we were in just totally exploded. I think Corey was there with me. It was incredible. So I like how his shield is made out of vibranium. Nice connection to Black Panther. Yeah, or is Black Panther connecting to Captain America? Ask yourself that question, Gold Taco. Speaking of which, you guys may have seen my video of kind of lightsaber cut through Captain America's shield. What do you guys think? Kind of lightsaber cut through Captain America's shield? You know, it's a true question that you got to ask yourself before you go to bed at night. Because if you don't, well, if you're not pondering those questions of the universe, what are you truly doing with your life? Okay, so I got to get going because, like I said, I got to go donate blood. Apparently, the Red Cross needs some, and well, they just don't stop calling me. So, but tomorrow we'll talk about we'll go a little bit more in depth on Captain America, the Winter Soldier. We'll see the return of Bucky Barnes, and we're gonna be specifically talking about the differences between the two films, the differences in style, because they're two different directors, and how different they truly are. Hey, what's up, Dennis? How's it going? But so yeah, so thanks for joining tonight, guys. Sorry for this copywriting thing. All this stuff's killing me. I want to show clips, but maybe I can't do that. It probably depends on what film I'm doing too. But we'll talk Winter Soldier tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. And I think the most important thing that you can possibly do in all of this is to stay spiffy, and don't do anything